Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the GeekVerse podcast, the 590th episode of the GeekVerse podcast. I'm the king of Agnognus, Travis Snell, and I'm joined by...
I'm little brother, Kirkland Patzer.
I am the Aquaman, Taylor Field.
Don't you ever call me that. Don't call me little, don't call me brother.
Don't call me Aquaman.
Don't call me Aquaman. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. Somehow, we talked about this before in the predictions, but we are at the end of the DCEU. It's other than Man of Steel, because that happened in 2013. We've done every single... There's been a review for every DCU. You know, we've seen a lot of universes stop and start. This is one that, went on for, good 10 years. 2013, Man of Steel, nice little run. And that's why I told Taylor about in the car, Kirkland Spring Autumn, and I don't think Dylan will join for this. But I think in honor of that, I think in the new year, what we're going to do is I think we're going to do a DCEU Golden Geeks to just send it full off.
Damn.
Just do all, 13 whatever films. I don't know if you have, it means you have to watch Shazam or not. I don't know if you do. That's up to Taylor. If, you feel like
Oh, he needs to watch it.
I don't think it would be any of the top categories, but I know the rest of you have seen and stuff like that. But yeah, we're gonna do
Probably only a handful of films that actually would qualify, right? Because it hasn't been all great.
well,
Amongst
yeah,
those
exactly,
13,
right?
is that a positive percentage?
I don't
that
know if
could
it's
be nominees?
13. How many films is there? Let me take a look.
Something
there's-
around that, though. I feel
Man
like
of Steel,
majority could be forgettable.
Don't try to count it out. Let me just pull up my
Yes.
letterbox. Don't
two
do this.
Suicide Squads.
Oh no, there's 16 films. Shit.
Oh,
Well,
look at that.
World War One, World War Two, Blue Beetle.
yeah. Well, technically there might be 15 because some people count Blue Beetle and some people don't. I think we won't for this one. And then
Oh,
technically,
it counts. What?
no, there's not a single DCU reference in it. And even Gunna said it's
Batman's
not
a
part of the DCU.
fascist.
Batman's always a fascist.
They say that in Marvel movies.
And then technically, do you count Justice League and Zack? Those are two separate films, right? But I feel like nothing from Justice League is gonna be in there. So with if I take that, that'd be two. Hang on one second. So 14 films in total. So maybe over the winter break, if you want to watch them. So I didn't, man.
I'll clear my schedule and start watching DC.
Yeah, sure. I was just counting it. I was just like, some of these movies, But yes, I think we'll do that. I think that would be a fun thing. Because, there's other ones like the Dark Universe, Tom Cruise. There's other universes that have happened. I feel like they never got too big. Like Transformers is trying with G.I. Joes and stuff like that. But I just feel like, that'd be a good way to send it off, to say goodbye to it. Maybe if you guys want to, you can do a little refresher, watch a couple over and stuff. You don't have to, or you go based off memory. But yeah, I think we're going to do that. And we'll do the whole shebang. Best actor, best actress, best supporting, best scene. We'll do everything. We'll give it a nice big send off until, not, I guess just a send off. I was going to say
Just
until
ever.
2025. But yeah, just ever. It's just done. And what a road. And that I think that's also a good time to just talk about just the highs and lows. But today we're just here to talk about the final chapter, the last movie of this saga, of this universe, is Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. So, ladies and gentlemen, as usual, we're going to do our non-spoiler thoughts. So if you haven't seen this, which probably is a lot of people because our theater was very, very empty, very, very quiet. Like even right now, I want to pull up, what's the 940 screening doing right now? But while I'm doing that, Taylor Field, where can they find us on the social medias?
Ladies and gentlemen, you can find us via your internet connection in the search bar. GeekVerse.ca is our home base. GeekVerseCast is our Twitter, and GeekVerse is our Facebook.
So the 941, there's two people in the very back row. I don't know
Wow.
why.
Oh, they're getting on. They're getting
Oh,
on. They're not
yeah.
watching the movie.
Yeah, they're going to climax when that guy yells out Aquaman at the
Yeah.
same time. Aquaman! And then the other one yell Arthur. But yeah, so if you are interested, if this is your first time and you're curious what we thought, like I said, we'll do a nice big send off to the DCU. But we have a review for every single film that has come out, so go check that out. And yeah, it was quite a ride. Was this movie quite a ride? Who knows? Because we're gonna do non-spoilers and we'll get into spoilers. So, and yeah, me and Kirkland will be reviewing Rebel Moon in about 24 hours. There's tons of good
yeah.
stuff in there. Me and Taylor, me and Dylan,
Dylan,
Dog. Yeah. Aquaman, Dylan Muss. We did a nice juicy newscast. We thought we were going to be short, just the two of us. We went 2:15. There's lots to talk about. So check that out, side quests. And yeah, there'll be some stuff over the next coming couple weeks. But then in January, don't think there's not much shows, TV shows. We're going to be doing Golden Geeks, video game and movie previews. reviews, some rankings. I got some fun trash told yous planned, and then in February these guys got Halo and Last Airbender. You know what I keep forgetting too? Fucking in 3 hours, What If starts. What If season 2 starts.
Oh man.
And then Echo's out
Staying
January
up.
10th. Yes, yeah, I'm gonna be up probably, but no, I'll be watching Roman. But yeah, so there's still tons of stuff. So if it's your first time, subscribe, like, rate, review, and if you really like us, head over to Patreon because there's many great tiers there. The biggest one is probably your Phase 2 tier, where you can get ad-free episodes, exclusive episodes, early episodes. And get a nice RSS feed. So if you're on Spotify, Apple, or a few other places, you just put that right in there. And yeah, there'll be some good stuff because in the new year, we're going to get back to the Planet of the Apes retrospective. We're going to be starting Mad Max, and you guys will begin those like 2 to 3 months early. Apes, like right now, we got the first 2 up there months early. So lots of good stuff. And if you do that, we can create more shows. We can create more retrospectives, more side shows. So we really appreciate your support there. And thank you for that. A big shout out to Patreon producers, April of Darkness, Aaron Braden, Joshua Wright, Jack Grant, and Muds. Which, speaking of January, that's again as if you join a Patreon producer tier, which there will be some fun stuff happening, more stuff for you guys and gals on that tier coming in the new year. But just like Muds, she's making us review Twilight in the new year, so look out for that in January. So you guys get to pick a lot of the content. And finally, in with because I think we're gonna do our MCU. This is probably gonna be the last ever MCU Golden Geeks because they're gonna be pulling back. We're gonna do this DCU and we have the regular one. You guys get to vote the winners and losers and all that. So there's lots of good stuff coming up there. So Kirk, were you gonna say something? I feel like I cut you off.
I was just I don't even know if I should say it, but like, are we gonna be doing the full
Curious?
Twilights, the full
Well,
saga?
I feel
do
like
Taylor's in.
Taylor's
I'm in.
fully in. Dylan, I don't
Travis
think
is
is definitely in. I'm.
You're in. Come on.
I think
Schedule
Dylan's
permitting.
in. Mud's gonna be like Dylan.
If time was no factor.
Well, there is
you
no
100%
time because we're not leading up to a new Twilight, so we can take as long as we
the
want.
TV show. Aren't they doing a TV show?
Yeah, I guess they said they were doing that.
We could drop them all in the Patreon and public feeds when
There
the
you
show
go.
comes out.
I
Well,
think
that's
there's just things that happen in the later films that
That's
we
what I
gotta
was maybe
discuss.
thinking, that we do Twilight and then maybe bank it and keep it. Like we do it just for the patrons first, and then like even if it was to save for the Batman 2 and like get
There
ready
you
for
go.
like Pattinson. So
retro.
you guys just gotta, next time Dylan's on air, you just be like, you don't want to disappoint your lady, right? She'd want us to do them all because
Just put it in the schedule. Don't even tell him.
Yeah, just all 5 weeks. Just like, what do we just cancel side quests? It's just replaced with Twilight retros. But yeah, we do lots of fun things here. So even the first few months, not much going on. But Taylorfield, usually I end with you or leave you near the back half. But you know, we had I think we all had a good time. Lots of laughing and chuckling. But the problem is, you never know. Like, is this a good laughing, a bad laughing? So Taylor, I'm going to start with you. What did you think of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom?
I wish I could recall my thoughts on that first one because I don't think I've seen Aquaman 1 since it came out in theaters. I've only seen it the one time.
Wow.
And
2018, eh? That's crazy.
2019, yeah, and
5
that
years ago, 5 months.
stems
5 months. Yeah, 5
from
weeks.
stems from just, I guess maybe just my interest in the character and just what we got in that film. But from what I can remember, I remember that film being a much more cohesive and more engaging story. From point A to point B, it was much more well thought out, well written, and just well explored. And the characters were much more easily to connectable. I guess what I'm trying to say. This, I really had a hard time connecting with the characters. Even the characters that were introduced in the first film that were reoccurring, I felt that I was just not hitting it with them and really interested in them. And that's a shame because we have that film that established them already, and we should have been able to just pick up where we left off and really run with it. But that was not the case. There are some definite highlights. I think that there were some very cool sequences. I honestly would love to say that I'd love to see James Wan do like The Thing or something like that. I feel like he could nail it just by seeing like some things in this movie.
God, I jumped to Fantastic Four's thing, and I'm like, what? You want
No,
to make
no,
a
no.
Thing movie?
No.
What are you doing here?
John Carpenter is The Thing. I feel like just there's certain set pieces in this movie that I feel like, man, the colorful humor comedy aspect that is blatantly throughout this entire movie is shadowing above the small little horror James Wan vibes that are put into this film, and I think those
I thought you were
moments
also
really
comparing
stand
that
out.
to The Thing. I'm like, The Thing is not a
No, no,
colorful comedy, you know.
No,
slapstick
but
humor.
those
Yeah.
those horror vibes that really just kind of like pop out. I really liked how they did them in this film, because like I said, yeah, The Thing, I got vibes from that movie in certain sequences in this. I got vibes from, like, this is gonna sound really weird, but like World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King, there was some
There you
cool
go.
vibes coming out of there. I was like, this is really neat, but I'm driving with it. But yeah, it just felt like there were familiar beats that were just put in this movie. But like I said, the comedy was too much, the humor was too much. Just I felt like you have actors and actresses that were showing up to set, like, to film, and they were really giving it their all, and other ones weren't. And then Jason Momoa was just on cloud nine throughout this. I feel like he was just on a trip. Like, I felt like he owned this movie, and he was just calling all the shots. Like, yeah, well, one take and done. That was fucking great. Yeah, let's do it. Like, he was just
Taylor's, like,
way
on
too
set.
much. Yeah, he was just
He was too much. Oh, really? You got too much
think-
Momoa.
I think he was just too much, just going like off the rails. I liked him a lot more in that first one, and yeah, just he felt a lot like that Flash end credits scene version where he's just drinking and he's just crazy, and I mean, I'll quote one of his fucking standout lines when we get into the spoilers, because it's just, oh, I was cringing and laughing when he said it. It wasn't a good laugh, but yeah. I will say though, Black Manta even better in this one than that first movie. I really love Black Manta. I think I'll reaffirm it with our DC
Our Golden Geeks.
Golden Geeks. Yeah, but I will say at this point, like, Black Manta is my fucking favorite out of these villains so far. He's so cool.
Yeah, there's. But don't forget, Birds of Prey has Black Mask. You know, big Black Mask fan. Like when you no, you weren't a fan. I thought you were.
I
a
was
fan.
I was a fan. I wasn't a fan how that ended, but I was a
So
fan.
that it just comes
That
down to
club
performance.
scene though,
You know?
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
get up and dance. That is terrifying.
And I'd say, like, think about like Zack Snyder's Steppenwolf. That was a big improvement. Like, I think there's a
Yeah.
couple. I don't think it's a full on like just an easy one. Are you a Zod guy? I know lots of people think Zod's like the top tier comic villain of all time, but like.
I
yeah.
after the Flash, like, I really was jiving with Zod again. That was pretty good.
Get Supergirl. Well, tune in January. We'll do that. You know, I'll go. I'll leave Kirkland last because you know where he is. And I'll say I'm probably a bit more positive than Taylor, just like I was in the initial Aquaman review, because I think you liked it, but it may be similar to this. So, I'm more positive, but I think I'm pretty much exactly where Taylor is, where this is not exactly a beat for beat, but it's a similar version to the first movie, just like lesser than. That one definitely is more coherent. This feels like there's a lot of collection of set pieces and scenes. But as I said before, and many times, especially with this year, as a person that likes comic book like films and comic book games, movies, and the actual books themselves, this is like a great Saturday morning cartoon adventure. Like I had fun with this. This is a movie that, yeah, now in the current age of comic book movies, that people aren't going to flock out to see. But if you're like, hey, did you have a good time watching this? Absolutely. And not just because there is some the best way I could describe it is, I know people like to say like, oh, the Venom movies, they have that like 2000s cheese. No, to me, they just have that 2000s like bad quality. This, many times, the things we laugh about in the Raimi era of Spider-Man movies, this has that the same way, where it's just like certain lines like "you're out, Norman," and that, I don't get me wrong, those movies are far superior than this one, but I just mean like there's a certain level of cheese that is good. I don't know if it works for everybody, and I don't know if it makes the movie even better, but it makes me enjoy it and I watch it more and I get a giggle because like, oh, this is really stupid. There's some poor dialogue in here, and it's tough because I think Momoa and Patrick Wilson I think is the MVP for me in this movie. I love Yaya, but Patrick Wilson just came to deliver. I don't think the writing's the best. I don't think the jokes they give them are the best, but they're doing everything they can to make it work. And I think they have good chemistry, but I think they just, like, what they're saying is not, it's like a very 50-50, and it's just, we also were in a theater where there was just like 7 other people, so maybe I'd love to see this back in the old days where a full crowd and see what it hit, but it's very mixed, the humor, but it's just this is definitely just, again, way more of a swashbuckling adventure than the first one, and I enjoyed that. I think, to me, if you loved or liked the first one, you will enjoy this one, knowing it's a little lesser than, but I think that's kind of okay, especially it's the last one. We're not setting up a third one or whatever. It's just on a basis of, did I have a good time? I did. Would I watch this again? Yes, because I like Momoa. I think, like Taylor said, he went full Momoa here, and I think that was maybe a little too much. I think it's different in Fast and Furious because he goes Momoa, but there's like an evil slant, so there's a little bit different here. You can see him like aggressively from BVS to now just more and more evolve into Jason Momoa. And I think like the first Aquaman was the perfect balance of, he was a badass but had like that charm and stuff, where this, he's just it doesn't, and that's sometimes him, but it just feels like he's ad-libbing a lot in here, and some works and some doesn't. It's just like, oh, this isn't Arthur, but like that's Arthur now. So, and it's not even like a big hill to die on, because like I like Momoa, so it works for me. There's just definitely times where it takes you out, where it just feels like, oh, these people are they're having a good old time on this movie set, getting paid millions, thousands of dollars just to be doing all this shit. But visually, James Wan, I'm gonna miss when he goes back to horror, because I think with this and the first one, I love the color palettes and the worlds that him and his team do. We talk about this all the time, where you look at the Marvels, where you get Brie Larson, she has this costume, then the red, it's like you barely see in the blue. It's like James Wan's like, no, that saturation turn up to 1,000, and I dig it. Like these bright greens, these bright blues, these really bright reds. Like even fucking Black Man has this watch, which makes no sense because he's in like a fucking villain suit. He has like a watch, but the watch is like red and it's really bright. It's just like everything feels, that's what I love about it. Visually, it feels like a comic book. It feels like when you open up just these panels, like it's always a smorgasbord. So that's why for me, it's kind of this, it's nowhere again near this level, but it's the same way where lots of people bag on Dark Knight Rises, and I always go, well, because of Nolan's like filmmaking craft, that movie is above so much else. This is not the same level as that, but there's just so much good visuals in here where it brings it up. Like, let's say if I give this movie the same score from a lot of other movies, the visuals and just what's going on, and even some of the fight and the choreography is like, it pushes it above. So I had a good time with it. I definitely will watch this, I think, with the kids. I think we'll have a fun time. I think that families and stuff will enjoy it if they go out and see it. That's a big if. But so I enjoyed it. It's a lesser than adventure than the first one. The story's not as deep. The characters aren't as deep. But it's a good time, and that's all I'm looking for with this. And I don't know when we get another Aquaman, and I of course have some cons that are like, bigger ones, and there's some stuff that where maybe it's too cheesy that it is deserving to be a con. But yeah, that's my thoughts. If you like the first one, I think you would enjoy this. I don't think it's a massive step down or anything. So, Mr. Patzer.
There you go. Yeah, I really, really, really liked that first Aquaman movie. I felt like I was surprised by how much I did like it, like coming out of it. And this one, like heading into it, very, very low hype. I feel like I'm kind of similar. Like definitely I like the first one more than this one, but I'm still impressed with how much I liked it considering like where my hype was at. I think like my enjoyment level compared to like my thoughts on the quality of the actual film and story is like pretty skewed actually.
Yeah.
I don't really think this will be one I revisit too much, just because I don't know, there's not too much that really pulls me in. I think the big standouts for me is kind of what you're saying about just like the world design and like just the design of certain characters' costumes, the area that spoiler alert, the Lost Kingdom. I feel like it looked, for me, it looks sweet. I really, really like the design of it. And the other standout is just the relationship amongst Aquaman and the Ocean Master, Patrick Wilson. I don't know. I just feel like from the trailers, it was like, okay, yeah, this will be okay to have these two together. But like, I really, really enjoyed those two. I really, like, my saturation limit on Jason Momoa is just exactly where I thought it was going to be heading to this one, where it's just like, I don't even want to say like I'm not impressed by this guy anymore, but it's just like, I don't know. I just feel like he doesn't really move the needle too much for me. I know what I'm getting, so that's kind of fun. I feel like some ridiculous moments happen around him that made it funny, but you had your hand up.
I was going to say, because where you are now going forward, are you more interested in him leading vehicles, or are you more interested of, obviously he's not going to be Aquaman and Jason, like Justice League, but is that the barometer where you'd rather see him in an ensemble?
Maybe. I feel though like I'm almost
or even like a
picturing
buddy cop movie, which I guess this kind of was though, right? This was a buddy cop movie.
I just think he's gonna be Momoa in anything
Yeah,
like that, like an
this is-
ensemble. It'll be like an Expendables type thing where like all those characters are just
fuck.
playing characters of themselves essentially. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I don't even want to say it's bad. It's just I don't get too much from it anymore. I kind of mentioned that when we were doing our predictions, just my thoughts on Momoa, and that's exactly kind of how I felt around it. Like I feel like a lot of the jokes and humor that they're actually going for in the film, they really just didn't hit for me at all. Like I think there's a lot of moments, even just amongst the three of us, it just like an obvious joke would be on with like a fish person or something, and just we have no reaction.
Yeah.
But then there's something else that happens later on that's just absolutely ridiculous. I don't know if they're actually going for a joke, but holy fuck, we were laughing pretty hard there. It was reminding me of Bullet Train in certain moments. But yeah, like I still think this was. I enjoyed it more than what I was expecting, so that's great. And yeah, I'm not gonna miss this world too much. Like I said, like I'm not racing to rewatch this one. I definitely think that I will at some point though, just because like I said, like I did like the design of the places that we went to. And yeah, Black Manta, I haven't really been talking about him too much just because it was, I don't know, I don't think there's much more to say than he was just fantastic, and definitely a step up from the last film. It seemed like he had some extra oomph to his motivation this time around. He definitely was out for blood and revenge, and I think he was pretty scary. I did want more of like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna say anything. Spoilery.
I don't care. Whatever. We're like they do a fucking trope that movies keep doing that I'm just sick and tired, and it just makes the villains like a little less interesting. And I really hope MCU going forward, James Gunn the DCU, and we'll get to it in spoilers. Maybe it'll be the first thing. I'm just tired of this trope of we already have this villain or great character, and but there's this other thing that's happening with them. You're like, oh no, like they just get a little wooden, They just get a little like. It's just like, so. But hey, next time we see Yaya, we'll be in the MCU. So
in the MCU,
remember he's Wonder Man. Remember if that show
well,
happens?
he's out in Furious, right? That'll be the next time we see him.
No, he didn't.
Furiosa?
He dropped out of that.
Oh no. Okay,
Yeah,
never mind then.
Did you
MCU, here it comes.
Were you
Might
surprised when
make
you
him
didn't see him in
Kang.
the trailer?
No, I feel like I just looked like Googled him lately, and I saw his name attached to Furiosa. So I'm
He
like,
was
there you
at
go,
one
that's cool.
point, but yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Kang.
He's great though. I want to see him in a lot more things. Candyman, he's fantastic.
One of the best in the world. That Black Mirror episode. Did you watch that one?
No, never seen it.
Oh man, it's him and
Okay.
Anthony Mackie. It's a really good one where they get put into like a video game per se.
Okay,
It's
I've seen the memes about that one.
oh, you know what happens in that episode? But
They
it's
want to
fucking.
keep, or one of them wants to keep playing, and then the other one's not so down.
He's the one that's like obsessed and just wants to keep playing. It's it's great. He is one of our most talented actors right now. Yeah,
Underutilized because he's not in enough. We got to see him in more things.
I think you're just not seeing things. Like last year,
Well,
he was
what's
in a
he in?
Last
One
year he was
Black
in an
Mirror
Oscar
episode.
movie, like a movie that got nominated for Best
So it's probably
Picture. he was
boring.
in. No, it's good. It's good. I can't even remember the title of it, but it was a good movie,
There you go.
and he was great.
But for Lost Kingdom, I think this is, it's not like a major like, I don't know, right what am I looking for, poetic maybe end to the DCEU, but it's just like, yeah, okay, we're done with it, we can close that chapter and move on. So yeah, I don't really know what else to say.
That's fair.
Let's get into spoilers.
All right, let's get into spoilers. So we're gonna take our ad break. So if you are planning to see this movie, you're waiting for a Max, and you'll come back. Come back. It will still be here. The episode will be here months, years later, whenever that is. So we'll take our first ad break, then we'll get into spoilers. So we will be right back. And we're back. See, I wanted to start with Black Manta because one, I feel like a little bad for him in Randall Park, where you're in a like. We'll get to Randall Park, but I just mean like no. It's not where you think I'm going. I mean in the sense where there's a $1 billion film and you're going to be in the sequel in it, and you must think, oh, I'm going to have a bigger role in the sequel. Like I'm going to have so much eyes on me, and then obviously the movie's doing what it's doing, right? It's going to bomb. So it's like I feel bad for them because I like them both, and they have a lot more role. My issues with Yaya is great, and every scene he isn't great. He's intimidating, but I think my issue is they do the fucking thing where they did it with Hawkeye and they do with other villains. They did it with Scarlet Witch, where he's already a bad guy, but then what happens? He gets possessed by like a bigger, badder thing. So that's my problem with a lot of this movie. He just becomes Stonewall bad guy, and it's tough because you have him, and then you have him as the Stonewall bad guy, and then also when he's in the Black Manta suit, which is fucking looks even better in the suit. One of the coolest comic book creations ever. Like, and James Wan has done a fantastic, like, and the whole crew. That thing looks just fucking awesome. It looks so cool. The action, the shots, like the red eyes, everything. It's so cool. But the problem is, like, he's in the action scene. He has that helmet on, so I felt like he was in it more. But I feel like we didn't get as much as I wanted. I always heard, oh man, he's gonna be the main villain of the sequel. I'm really happy about this, and it just still feels like I was waiting for that. You know, I wanted more stuff. I want even like a scene of dialogue between him and Arthur, which every time they just see each other, it's just like, let's fucking fight. And it's like, I get it, I understand, but
it sucks because I feel like he has enough motivation to be that fantastic villain in this movie, just from what happened in the previous film. Like, you don't even need him to be possessed by the Black Trident in order to be fucking mad and burning down Atlantis. Like, that is his motivation from the start of the movie before he even gets it. But on the other hand, like, I do kind of like the mythos, maybe like the lore of the Black Trident and this thing.
Oh yeah,
that again, I was getting
that.
major just flashes to Lord of the Rings throughout this film for multiple reasons, but specifically like Sauron, just like you're mentioning,
This
Taylor, alluding to. You got the Lich King just frozen in ice, possessing this guy with the Trident, way on the other side of the world. So I did like that aspect, but then I think like the mixing up of the two is just. It wasn't too great because even like later on, Randall Park was saying like, oh yeah, he's going so extreme now because the Black Trident is possessing him. But it's like, it's not even like he was a good guy.
No.
and then like that's what happened. It's just
His
he
main
got
goal is to
multiplied,
kill-
I guess. And then later on, he's starting to talk as like the individual, which was confusing.
Oh, me and
Me
Kirk
big
were
time.
Taylor, were you confused when he threw down Aquaman and he's like, "Oh, my brother's armor and stuff"? Were you confused at all when that was happening?
I'm trying to remember the scene.
It's when they're fighting and like mid-fight, he throws Aquaman down to the ground, and the Sauron guy, one of their great uncles or whatever, he fully takes over Black Mana and he starts talking at as him. But I was so confused in that moment because there was no like, it wasn't like a big like, oh, and then he was that guy. They were just fine. Then always was like, oh, my brother's armor is looking good on you or something. I was like,
the eyes
my
must
brother
have turned green, I imagine. That's usually the
but he had the
right?
huge helmet on.
Yeah, he had the
so I
giant
can't
helmet.
see that.
Oh.
It was just so, and that's where there's stuff pacing wise where it's odd. And I'm with you, Kirkland, where I'm fine with the lore and the power. Give him all the powers, make him souped up. That's fine. They just didn't like. It was just like, guess what? He's bad now. He's more bad. Like, I still feel like from the first one and the little bit of this movie before he got possessed, I would have believed he would have done all these things. But they almost were trying to make it seem like because he's possessed, he's going to the big degree. And then I was like, okay, I guess at the end they're going to redeem him, right? I thought it was going to be Aquaman Orm, because I hate that they the blood happens, we'll get to it, but they like this blood splashes, and that is to unlock this whatever, what do they call him? There was like a cool name, whatever. Our Sauron here, he was like, I know he's like the uncle, but like the whole thing is they need a bloodline from Arthur Orm, Nicole Kidman, that they need that to unleash this, right? And I thought at one point they weren't going to do that. And then the blood hits and starts to unbreak. I was like, oh, fuck, they're going to do this. We're going to fight this cool villain. No, of course, Arthur just throws this fucking trident and the villain just dies. Like, okay, they did like a fake out. But I thought they were trying to, with this whole possession, I'm like, okay, it's going to be a moment where it's them versus the evil Sauron. Orm's down, Aquaman's down. What happens next? And then Black Man is going to make the save because they've been setting up, hey, he's maybe a bad guy, but he's not this bad. What does he do at the end? Nah, he just kills himself because he doesn't want to even touch Aquaman. Yeah, so it's just like, what was the point? Like, I don't think Black Manta need to be redeemed, but if they would have redeemed, I would have been, okay, that's the story. I get it, that they're trying to show he wasn't that bad and he went too far and he's going to try to like change his course of action. But no, he was still like a piece of shit guy. Like he tried to fight Aquaman after Aquaman kicked his ass, and Aquaman goes to take his hand, and then he says never, and he kicks off, which was the funniest part because he kicks off, and it felt like there was this rock too early because like hit him and his body folded. Like it was on purpose. It was just funny way. And
he
again,
with shock in his eye, like wasn't expecting that.
And with this being the last, I'm kind of just happy it's that way. Even though this movie between the UN and him doing that way has massive
man.
like Black Panther vibes. Of,
Oh,
like
100%.
they're obsessed with coming out. Black Manta is like Killmonger, where he kills himself, right? Because he doesn't want to go to a prison. Like, there's so many allusions to that. So yeah, I don't know. I wish they didn't do the whole possession thing. Just keep it at whatever. So,
But then you don't get the Lost City, so you like kind of have to have it in there, right? Unless you just somehow make it like
No,
he's
I
obsessed
think
with finding maybe like the source of the Black Trident. Yeah, I guess you can.
I
you
think
can
what they
spin it
just
that way.
could. It's weird because they do this thing where they got to do this heist to get this whatever Occupy power, whatever the fuck it was. Like it literally was come like, and literally they had like this. I laughed because like the name was like Orchoyo come. It was like I was like, oh okay. that's like-
Oriclum.
Or come. Yeah, but it was just you're adding an L in between the C,
Yeah.
U,
Is
there
and
no
M.
L?
No, it was just come, and I was like, what am I seeing here? Like, what? And that's why I'm like, is this on purpose? But
It
so, like,
wasn't said exactly like that. I don't think we've said
No.
it correctly yet.
Auriculum.
but it was
Sounds
cum at
closer.
the end. Yeah, but either way, they set this up. They need this thing that's gonna like it can cause global warming. So there's so much fucking just like shit in here.
Oh,
Like,
man,
okay,
yeah.
whatever. But they set this thing up where they're like, we got to be really careful because they got lots of security. They're trying not to make you think they're heisting Atlantis. Of course they are, and that's the big reveal. Like, oh, they're in Atlantis, and they're like, don't get caught because we can't fight them off. Because it's literally Black Manta with these 2 ships and then his 1 big ship. First of all, they fight off Atlantis pretty fucking well for like a full 15 minutes. Like, it's the whole army. But that's where I thought that they could have easily went, okay, let's say if they fucking got bopped, that's where he would realize, okay, we need to unlock that fucking Shadow King or whatever, and he'll help us take it all down because I can't do it without him, you know? And I feel like they're trying to go for that, but it was unclear. So yeah, you could still have that king in there and just say, hey, Black Manta's not strong enough to do this on his own. He's going to get this fucking, the green Sauron and fucking mega powers, you know? But it's just so, they make it muddier than it has to be for this movie, you know?
Apparently, so Necris, which I thought was the villain's name, apparently that's the city of the Lost Kingdom.
Right,
And then
that
the
makes
villain's
sense.
name is Mongo, which I do not remember hearing that at all.
Mongo? That didn't look
Yeah.
like a Mongo to me.
No, me neither. I don't think I ever heard them say it like that. Maybe they did a
Mongo
little
come.
Dolph Lundgren accent on it.
Oh
But,
my God.
Yeah, getting to the end, I was hoping that Arthur was going to extend the hand there because it shows obviously the growth of his character from the last movie, which he did.
Fuck
And then
your dad. Because the first movie, remember?
he
Do
just
what it-
spits on him, just
He
kicks
pretty
him
much
down.
did, yeah.
Yeah.
What does he say? Your soul belongs to the seas, or ask for the seas forgiveness, or whatever. So,
Something like that.
yeah.
And
spit.
so I was hoping that he takes the hand there, but
Mm-hmm.
obviously it shows that he still has that residual hate for him. But which I guess does make sense for that character because even without the Black Trident, like he was still just super pissed off at Aquaman and all of Atlantis, which again speaks to like maybe he didn't need to have the extra evil motivation. I don't know. I just think it's messy with what they did there because it isn't exactly clear when the possession is happening. That's why, like, when he has that moment of, like, you wear my brother's armor, and it's, like, we're confused because we don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Like, because he
His
seems
helmet's
just as
on.
evil as he was
Yeah.
at the end of the last movie, right? So, yeah, is messy in that sense. So the juggling of it was definitely just messy all across the board. And, I don't know, there's something else I was going to mention there, but then I started talking about Mongo. Hopefully
There's a
it'll come
lot.
back to
This
me.
that's you can't say like this movie is a movie. It's a fucking stuffed movie. Like there's lots of things going on here. You get your price of admission there. Like it's not, which might be a bad thing. You could probably just strip a few things and make it a bit better. But Ted, did you have any issues with like him being semi-possessed, or were you all for that? Where were you?
I didn't have a problem with it because I felt like he was still himself and he was just kind of riding off of this high. Like he said, I'll make a deal with the devil if I can still get what I want. That's to kill Aquaman. And so I felt like he was still his very own person. He was just associating with this demon necril being or whatever. But I thought the necro being was pretty cool. But it would have been much nicer to see Manta really just be on his own 2 feet because he was working for Orm in the first movie, and then here he's working for this necro guy. So he really doesn't have that opportunity to just be on his own. And you get that at the beginning of the movie because he's doing his own shit, and he's got his own expeditions looking for Atlantean tech, which I thought, okay, this is pretty cool. His suit's damaged. He's trying to figure out a way to repair it, and then he finds the Holy Grail to repair it. So yeah, I overall, like I said in my non-spoilers, I'm happy to see more of him here than the first one. So
Yeah.
I got to do an edit here because it's definitely not Mongo. I don't know where the fuck I read
Like,
that.
why
The
is
villain's
this
name
character-
was King Cordax, which I
Right,
definitely
they
remember
said
hearing that.
Cordax, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck I read
King
initially, but there you go.
I'm
So,
not
like that
Mongo.
sounds so weird. I don't know. I feel like I would have remembered if the big bad villain Sauron character was just named Mongo.
Mongo's free. Yeah, we would have
that's
definitely
the name
laughed.
of the gingerbread from Shrek 2. Go going Mongo.
Well, just because I don't want to forget about it, and I know we're like this review's gonna be all over. We're not going in order, so just buckle up. You have to see the movie, or you're just with us. So you have fucking Yaya. We've talked about him. He has this demon, and then they got this recurring thing the whole movie where Randall Park just will appear out of nowhere. For the audio,
It was
listeners,
always in the exact same spot too. He like peeks around.
so for people that don't know, I had to throw up a picture of a woman behind a tree spying on people because so the first time they do this, they're establishing again where the Yaya's look in the mirror, Black Man is looking in the mirror, and in his reflection, he sees King Mongo, and they're talking and everything like that. And he's just like, "You're the best. You're gonna kill them all. Like, oh, you're so hard right now." Like he's just like propping up, like, "We'll take it all down." And then behind, like in the corridors, because Yaya's left, Black Man is obsessed with leaving his fucking door open to his room all the time, and it's like, so his door's open, and in between the hallway, there's like a little corner of a wall, and it's always Randall Park doing, like, he's just like half his face is like looking over, and then they shoot back to Yaya and he looks mad. They shoot back to Randall, he's scared, and then a door closes. They do that 3 fucking times. And like especially near the end, like, the best cut was near the end after he kidnaps the baby. Randall Park doesn't know this is going on, so he's in the hall and he looks in this room, and it's just Black Man is standing over this baby with a knife. And then just like, it's literally something you would have, like, we can't do it justice, but we are dying laughing because it was just, it's weird because like he is in the hallway, but it also didn't seem that far. Like it literally just felt like you're in your bedroom watching TV and like your parents are at the door frame. Like it did not seem like he's gonna see you, dude. And he saw him every fucking time. Like it wasn't like he saw him and then Randall Park like scurried away to like give some information. Every time Yaya was like, "What the fuck you doing?" And then the door, like, it was fucking like Yaya was kind of looking like this every time the Emperor from the Marvels. But my God, that was definitely unintentional, I think. But I just fucking, that killed us.
Oh yeah, that one got me every time, like more and more so. But I still think my favorite one was the first initial one because up until this point, like Randall Park's character, like the doctor, I don't even remember what his name was, but he was
Jimmy Woo.
He was a little regretful maybe of some of the inclusion of everything that was going on, but he didn't really know the full extent. And then the first time he peeks in there, Yaya is literally having a full-on fucking dialogue with Sauron. And then from his perspective, I imagine he didn't see the smoke. So it's literally just Yaya like saying that he's gonna take over the world, like into a mirror, like really intensely right at himself. And then like the smoke fades away and he gets all perplexed, looks over. You got Jimmy Woo just standing there terrified, like, fuck man, run away in that instance. Like, oh, and then he gets himself caught 2 more times. But again, why would Yaya just keep his door open if he's not wanting to share his secrets?
Well, yeah, he's talking to some fucking entity. Like, definitely close your door now. Like this is the time. Like,
I feel like every time I take a phone call, I go in the other room. But like, especially if I'm talking to an evil entity, I'm not gonna just take that call on the bridge.
And the movie, that's where we can't do it justice. The movie is full of moments like that where it's like,
yes,
is this intentional? Is it not? I think majority of them are not intentional. I think it is just like but it's just the framing of it or whatever the dialogue is in the moment of it. Like there's too much to name, but that one definitely stuck out of like, geez, it was something.
Yeah, no, there's many of those moments littered throughout. And like for me, those were almost my most enjoyable moments of the movie. That's why it's going to be interesting giving this movie a number rating on just judging for like the quality of it, but also just my enjoyment because, you got to factor that in there. I definitely had a good time with this.
Yeah.
If I saw it alone, maybe not so much.
And I think a lot of those moments definitely just go around Jimmy. I just can't call him Jimmy, but Randall Park. Like I think they give him a lot of dialogue and a lot of stuff that just is real cheesy, real hard to deliver, and good on him. And I like Randall Park more than from when the first Aquaman, because like he was in it, just like he's been in so much now since then. But he was doing his best, but it just like. I don't even know if you get Daniel Day-Lewis at retirement if he can like sell some of the stuff he's saying, because it was.
Well,
yeah.
it was also funny because his character, like he's shown to have like a moral compass and like wants to kind of get out of that situation. You know, he even asks I forget how the dialogue goes exactly, but he's basically having like conversed with Black Manta about like backing out of this the whole plan, and then he's like, "Would you let me even?" And then he's like, "Yeah, no, the door's right there if you have to go through that fucking murderous jungle in Jurassic Park."
It was so fucking weird. It's like they were supposed to be because the shot is like, yeah, you can leave, and then like her saying there's like a wide shot of like a cave, and then it's like an opening, and there's some trees, and you just see like and like things like animal noises, but it's really off in the distance. Where you're just like, okay, like what the fuck's going on there? Like I get it, it's like some sort of animal. I thought there was supposed to be. Like some scene would have helped. It's not like the movie's lacking CGI budget. They fucking CGI like 10,000 giant grasshoppers. So it was just, it was very odd, like a way of a threat. And it reminded me of the Black Manta, you're wearing my brother's armor moment of like, what's going on here? Like I get it, but it felt awkward in the moment.
So like from that point, it almost seemed like Randall Park was like almost a prisoner of like Black Manta, but there's also so many moments later on when like he's not really directly like threatened by Black Manta at any point. I feel like even leading up to the climax, he's in one of those like fucking octopus ships that I feel like at any point he can just hit reverse and back the fuck out of there, but he's like still like kind of on the side. So it was kind of like hard to judge of like, I don't know, maybe he is scared, but also I just feel like he's in a good enough opportune moment to just get the fuck out of there, go join Atlantis, because that seems like what his motivation was. So I don't know. I didn't fully buy that he was only there because he was forced, when I thought many times he could have gotten out of that situation.
Well, and there's stuff too where like he bumps into the characters in the middle, and I thought, oh, because he proves that he's a good guy, like proves that he's not a bad guy, and they kind of believe him, and I'm like, okay, he's gonna be with them now. But then he's not. Like the next time we see him, he's back with like the Black Manta gang, and same thing too when they've kidnapped the baby, which is just it's such an odd scene. They kidnap this baby because like we talked about where they gotta have blood, and that's where we'll get the baby to use this blood to open up the King Mondo there. And the thing is where I thought I was joking, but I wasn't. He's carrying around this bag, and I guess they were insinuating that the baby was just like in this backpack. So at one point, Randall Park hands the backpack to fucking Black Man, and he just holds up like a backpack and then zips it. There's a bomb there. It's a trick, but it was just the funniest thing of like, they think this baby's literally in the backpack, and then the baby's just off in the snow somewhere. It was odd because I did say like, where is this baby? And I guess it was just hanging out. So,
and I didn't really fully understand why Randall Park was like the babysitter in that situation. Like if this is Black Manta's most important item on this big quest that he's on, and then he has like his least loyal member that's like super flaky. Oh yeah, no, you're gonna ride with the baby. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. I feel like Black Manta would have just had the baby with him in that instant. But
I guess because
you gotta give it to the higher paid actor, I guess.
Yeah, and I guess because he's like the scientist character, but it's like it's pretty self-explanatory. The whole thing is just go like get some blood on this stone thing. Like it's I don't know. I thought it was kind of odd, and maybe I guess he didn't see all the stuff that character did, right? He didn't know, but
right.
Yeah, and like I had to look. I'm sorry, but like I couldn't. Like I didn't even remember this was the first time we got that shot. People have to look live. I thought it was a zoom out where he looks behind him, but literally it's him in the mirror, and then you just see Randall Park's reflection there, like just his head poking out, and oh my god, just such good stuff.
It's like he's watching you beat off, and then it's like
100%.
What the hell is going on?
Everyone go check out Saltburn. So that character was just all. Oh, that's the thing too, right? Trying to get back to the baby backpack. When they get to the kingdom, he's just like, "This is magnificent!" Like he looks like he's like fully in again. Like he's. I'm all down to do this mission, and he was. As much as I like Randall Park, I just wonder if there's a movie of like there. I think there's definitely a script where you could just entirely cut out that character or reduce it to
Oh
a
yeah,
very
100%.
minor amount. And
You could have like you don't really need a doctor type character
No.
after they find the actual like objects,
Trident.
right?
Yeah, just have them have the fucking King Mondo
lackeys.
and Vision say, or no, even King Mondo in like whatever could say, like, I need a bloodline of this. Like, you don't need Randall Park to tell you that.
Yeah,
you know?
no, exactly. Or just a fucking another no-name doctor type character. Like he had a few on his payroll, I'm sure. And there was like a bunch of lackeys that were piloting some of the other ships that like they didn't really, I don't even know if they said words really other than like get to your stations, battle stations. So
Or that fucking lady when the whales came. Oh my
holy
god, that
fuck. See, so
And she
many
said
of those
something-
moments that just
yeah.
really got me throughout the film that like it again, it's hard to kind of recount now for like to give them justice. I mean, you know, you kind of have to be
Yeah.
there in the moment.
You got to be
like,
there in the moment. It's just there's these
like
whales
Timur
that
Morrison
come.
and his fucking teeth. Holy shit,
Yeah,
that was
that-
getting me early on.
He had some big chompers out there in this one. He was showing off those pearly whites big time. So
What is going on? He was looking like Travis in that one cast. What the hell am I doing here with the
fuck am I
baby?
doing here?
Just downing Guinnesses all night.
Taylor, when you were getting water, was Mass in the background watching you like that? You
Watching you get water.
yeah, watching you get water like.
So she
Jimmy
creeps into my podcast room. She does that.
yeah. Anything to add on Randall Park's character, Taylor?
I thought he was hilarious, and
Intentionally?
no, I don't think he was intentionally trying to be hilarious.
That's just wanted to confirm. Yeah.
Yeah, he was definitely not intentionally trying to be hilarious, but he it was a surprise. I don't know if did they announce he was in there. If they did, I totally forgot.
Well, he's in the first one.
Is he in the first one? Holy
Yep.
shit, I forgot.
It's because that's when he was like, not trying to be mean, saying nobody, but like he was not established. Like he was not in the interview. He was not in the MCU. He's not in what was that? Oh, what was that movie he did with Ali Wong that had Keanu Reeves? Remember that was a big whoop date one too. It was a rom-com on Netflix. Yeah,
right.
like he's built up quite a good little resume since 2018. So that's why it's been 5 fucking years. You know, like that, as we always talk about in the newscast about like fucking same thing with Avengers. It's been 5 years now. So no, Aquaman's more. That was 2018. That was. What was that? No, it is 5
years.
Okay, it is 5. Yeah, so never mind. I was wrong. What the fuck am I doing here? But still, 5 years, half a decade. He's a much bigger star now than he was then.
Yeah, that makes sense. Then yeah, not really knowing who he is then and knowing who he is now in comparison to all the projects. So very cool though that he's in the first one. I'll just get another reason why I'm gonna have to rewatch it. But yeah, in this one, I just he was making me laugh. Just the different things he was doing was just comedic, and not in a non-intentional way. But yeah, I don't know. It's just poor writing with his character, I guess. They could have done a little bit better with just kind of giving him more purpose. And I feel like things are just very expedited because when the moment where the thing scene is going on and they kind of clash down into the Arctic crevice and the snowmobile machine falls
No
down
injury at
behind
all,
them.
too. The
One guy gets injured. The one guy gets his leg
guess.
injured.
But
And what
even-
does Randall Park do? Like he just immediately gets up and just goes like to the ice wall to see what's in there. Like just
He's
he
curious.
does try to save the guy. Yeah, he was curious. Curious.
I'm curious. Besides, well,
But yeah, like I don't have much else to add. He was there. He was creeping around that fucking corner multiple times and yeah.
while you're gone, me and Kirkland both agreed with this. Do you think there's a version of this movie you just cut that character out completely, pretty much?
I think you could successfully cut him out of the movie. Now, if you do that, you run the risk of him not knowing where this transmitter is to find the Black Trident and all that.
I guess just that, but I feel like Kirkland said like you just have one side character do that, and once he gets the Black Trident, you just have King Mongol the whole time give him like instructions, like because he's like magic, right? So you just say, oh, you got to go here, you got to do this, you know.
That almost could have been more interesting too, because we might have been able to see a lot more like back and forth amongst Black
Mongo.
Manta and Mongo, and then like maybe
He's
even
Mongo.
seeing like that struggle that Ya's
Yeah.
character would have been going through, and that could have been a lot more interesting.
No, and then we pivoted because you come back, but yeah, there's this moment where I don't know what the fuck's like. It's it's jargon. It's not needed. They talk about this whole plan where it's like, oh, the bad guy submarine have these sonic, like what are they like? What's the technical term? Sonar. Like sonar's popping off, right? And then they're just like, well, we gotta. Do I got the right thing?
Yep.
Well, what are
that's
you
sonar.
trying to say?
So, because remember when Momoa was explaining the whole plan where like they have a sonar, but if we make like a bigger sonar,
Oh
it can,
no, that's not what sonar is.
Yeah, what is
sonar
it?
like detection. It's
yes,
like
but that's what I
the-
mean. So what was the thing? I know sonar
it's
is
like a high
submarine.
frequency thing to like
Okay.
disorient.
And they
whatever the
just
fuck
do
it's
this
called.
thing where they explain where they're shooting out some high frequency, so we need to create a higher frequency. So Momoa summons all these whales, and really, you don't need to do that. Just have fucking whales come and destroy the ship. Like they spent 2 minutes discussing like this plan, and really like
Well, they couldn't destroy the ship, remember? Because
They did, though.
Arthur. Well, that's just it. And they fucked this up because that's what I was thinking. Mira steps up and says, "No, we can't destroy the ship." When fucking was like, "Let's just destroy the whole ship with our fleet overwhelming
do it.
force." And so Mira's
Right.
like, "No, Arthur Jr. Not with Arthur Jr. out there." So they're not going to destroy the ship. But what happens? They fucking blow it up.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, don't make that plot. Like, just make it like, oh, Mantis left the ship. Like, destroy. Like the whole like having Momoa have this moment to explain, which like I feel like they did a. It's strange that he still was king at the end because the whole movie's about how he's a terrible king, and even though we'll
He
get
didn't
to
even want to do it. He kept
Yeah,
saying that
he
to
didn't wanna
fucking
do it.
Ocean Master. All he wants is to be king again. He's like, oh, I hate this. But
and
I'll-
we'll get to Ocean Master's ending because that was fucking amazing. But like the whole movie to me, they show like, yeah, Orm should definitely still be the king. Like I think we're gonna get back to it again. We're jumping all over. The first 5 minutes of this movie is a complete ripoff of Thor Ragnarok. Remember when Thor Ragnarok's in the jail cell? And he's like, oh, I did this, and then I lost my hammer, and then I did. He's doing like, oh, well, then I became the king of Atlantis, and I had a baby, and now I'm a dad. Now I'm kicking ass. Like, yeah, that whole thing. And I don't care what anyone says. Thor Ragnarok, Thor, and this Aquaman, same person, same character. They have that exact vibe going on. And that's why to me it's like the whole movie for the most part, Orm's like showing him up, and there's like a few moments that Momoa gets, but I feel like that's what they're trying to do. It's like, no, just make him be like the badass and stuff. But what I was gonna say, so the whales had a few things. There's so many fucking things here. The whales, they summon these whales, and yeah, they just get the shot of this actress. She just like turns in fear and looks at the window, and then she says some line like, "This isn't good," and then the whales fuck her up. But it was just in the moment you had to see it. Back to what Taylor was saying, though, multiple times they show Dolph Lundgren, who we will refer to it a few times. Dolph Lundgren in this movie is completely inaudible. You cannot understand 75 to 85% of his dialogue. And it's not like a Christopher Nolan mix where it's so loud. It's just like, it'd be like, the king, the man, and then like he you'll catch one word, and it's just because his accent, the way he speaks, is just so thick.
One of my favorite moments is when they're like doing like the big battle at the end. It's like fucking Battle of Helm's Deep, and he comes in and he's like a leader, so it's like a big general coming. He's like, and then he just goes off. And imagine being one of the soldiers and being like, "What the fuck do we do? What did he say?"
There was one time in that battle he crashed in, and I just heard him say "baby," but he was like, "I don't know, baby," and then they're like, what the fuck is he saying? Like, what is going on the whole movie? And I didn't have the problem with the first movie, but in here, it was tough. But to that point, there's 2 times where they get the coordinates. They don't know Orm or Arthur are fine. And he just says, "Fire at free will." I did catch that line, but he tries to say that. But so on the island, they're just bombing like their king. He could be in this fucking island. This thing could be collapsing on him. And then at one point, they're talking about their battle plan, and I think Mara or Arthur bring up, what about Arthur Jr.? And then he just says like, "Oh well, it doesn't matter. We have to do this." Like, he's just fine with sacrificing his Like, he gives no fucks. He's just there for the fight. You know, it's a strange character. I was surprised that he was, because they show him, but I was surprised how much he was in it. And yeah, he gives no shits about his grandson or his son-in-law. He's just fine to like bomb them or put their lives at risk. You know, I kind of wish Orm left them there. And
That was one of my favorite moments of the entire fucking movie, especially just like this fucking guy that's just like been hating on Orm this whole time, and he's like, he doesn't trust him. He doesn't even give him a gun, right? He gives him a little hand axe. You get this moment where I feel like, yeah, Orm is like, he's the betrayer, I guess, of the last film, so we should kind of see him as a negative, but like, even when Arthur like first gets him out, he's still like super loyal to the whole idea of Atlantis, and he's like, as soon as we're done, I'm gonna surrender myself. Like he's just super honorable, and he doesn't really show any evil, like, bad guy tendencies.
He does nothing.
It's more,
he's not
it's
like
more
Loki
of
where he's
just
tricking.
no, yeah, it's just like, you know, maybe he's misunderstood or maybe wrong in his sight. You know, he's learned from his mistakes. But then in that one moment, it's like we just fucking have like the most evil type character, like Smeagol. It's literally Gollum, like trying to fucking set up, trying to like set up Samwise on the steps going up, and he gives that fucking evil smirk to him. you have Dolph Lundgren that's like about to die, and he's like, "Help me!" And he just gives him this fucking evil smirk, and then just like slowly goes away, like he's Randall Park watching him around the corner. I burst out laughing again. I like whispered to Taylor. It's literally like that scene from Harry Potter. Where he's like, "Oh, I thought you were gonna leave me there, Harry." It's like, and then for a moment, I thought I would too. Like, I feel like he almost did think that. It's like, oh, all my props could go away if I just let this guy fucking get eaten by the octopus thing.
And then when he does make the save, it's some weird slow-mo side shot with the axe. There's some random slow-mo, like when Arthur thinks his dad is dead, he yells, and then midway in the scene it turns into slow-mo. It's like, what are we doing? Like, why are we dipping into the slow-mo? And even then, like,
weird
like
choice, balancing that weird effect like behind them. It just looked like a 90s, like, I don't even know what it was.
And I felt like Orm did take quite a while to save him. Like, by the time he got around, I feel like he could have been killed. But that's why for a split second, they did have me, because I thought, oh, that's why he hasn't acted evil the whole movie, because he is turning evil again. Like, this has just been a whole... And I still like him being good and getting redemption, but I maybe would have respected a bit more if they did that turn of, oh shit, this whole movie he's put on this facade that he's loyal, he wants to help his mother, he wants to help everybody, but then push comes to shove, because I'm like, man, you got King Mongo, you got Black Manta, and now you have fucking Orm who's like ready to take back over. I'm like, oh, I'm down for this, but then 10 seconds later, he makes a good, like, no reason for him to evil smile away. Like, it was just like he just wanted to psych him out. Like, it was so silly. But shout out to Patrick Wilson. He's the fucking homie, man. I love Patrick Wilson, just everything. And he was great in this movie. Like I said, I was invested in him the most in this movie, in Orm, because just everything. There's a couple times that make him a little too goofy. I wish they would have like reined that back.
His run.
The run I liked, because me and Kirkland were dying, because like they have him run with his arms backwards, and we're like,
Naruto run.
Yeah, we're like, what's wrong with Patrick Wilson's arms? But I liked the joke that they tied it back later. When Mo was like, yeah, what are you doing? He's like, I've never run before. It's like, you got to move like this. And then when he moves, like, he fucking books past Arthur. So no, that was a joke. I'm like, okay, that one paid off for me. I liked
initially, though, because when they're doing the escape, that's when he does it initially, and then they like just fast forward without even mentioning it. I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Until 40 minutes later.
It does make sense if he's a fisherman.
Especially when he's like the skinny Jesus and he's walking like that. Like, it was quite an image and stuff. But you know,
that CGI of him being super skinny, man, it just...
I didn't think it was that bad.
I thought it looked good. Yeah.
No, I thought it stood out way too much. That
was way too Dwayne Johnson in Black Adam. That's for sure.
That's
or Captain America.
Yeah, I thought it looked better than both of those. Yeah, like I think the long beard and hair helped it, and they kept him in shadows.
I think it's like the neck that usually is the hardest part to transition. So it did help, I think, having the big Jesus beard.
Yeah, there were times where he was beside Momoa where it looked a little funny, but I thought it looked good.
The CGI babies, that's improved since the Flash, but the hair underwater, all their hair, fuck, that's rough. Especially Dolph Lundgren, he had some. His hair detached from.
I swear his eyebrows were fucking floating at one point. Like every follicle of hair that he had was just floating in the water there. Yeah, I don't think it bothered me as much in the first film, like looking back on it, but right away it was really standing out. And any time that they showed Arthur and fucking Mara like on the throne, and Momoa's just got his fucking legs spread, showing his cock line, like just pure dominant sitting position, and his beard just floating. I'm like, this is such a weird image. I don't want to see this anymore. So I am glad that this is the last film for these Aquamans.
Mm-hmm. Anything specifically? I know he'll come, but anything specifically on Orm? Broke out. He had a little redemption run.
Yeah,
he sees the air of his ways. He's eating burgers and
bugs.
Bugs, yeah.
Because like when Momoa gave him that bug, it was to fuck with him, right? But he actually ended up enjoying the bug. Is that the idea?
That's
or
how
he
I
knew
took
that it was
it.
gonna be a good bug.
For what?
I took it as he was being fucked. Because that's why he grabbed the other fruit too, just to fuck with him.
Everybody stop.
That's all.
A big thank you to Sam in our chat there. Taylor, why do you have the Rebel Moon thumbnail on this review currently?
Oh fuck! Did I put the wrong one in there? Let's do a quick swap out of that.
Thank you to our
That's so
Discord people. Thank
Rebel
you.
Moon review is tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah, we've not seen it.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
I like that he did
Orm-
take only Taylor though too, because he knows it was a Taylor fuck up.
Oh,
Is it
yeah.
Orm must have been Taylor. Yeah, sorry, Orm.
With Orm, yeah, I mean, Patrick Wilson, yeah, I feel like I've kind of underrated him in the past. Like, I know I've seen him in things other than, what is it, the Insidious movies? Or
Yeah,
Sinister?
Conjuring as well. He's in.
Oh, the Conjurings, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what.
Well, he's
is
in-
he also in both?
Yeah. He's a James Bond guy because James Bond directed those
Is
two.
it the same
remember?
world?
No,
Insidious and okay.
Insidious
wow.
is his own
He's
thing,
just-
but
he's eating up.
he's a Wan and Snyder guy because Snyder likes to use him a lot too because he was in Watchmen. Remember, we liked him in there, and
Yeah,
then
that's
in
right.
BVS,
He's in Moonfall.
He's in Moonfall. BVS, he's just
Oh
the
my
president, the voice of the president. But yeah, he pops up a lot of places.
So yeah, I feel like I don't know. I just kind of put him in that box of like those horror movies, and then obviously in the first Aquaman, like I liked him enough, but I don't think I really like shine too much light on him. Like I don't think he was my favorite part of those movies by any means. But in this one, I definitely he's. If I had to say like a list of 3 things that were my favorite parts of this movie, he would definitely be on that list. He was fantastic. I really like just again seeing him in that beginning of just like a completely defeated soul when those fucking like Grindylow creatures were just like giving him a half a cup of water every so often. He's just drying them out. But also just like where his mindset was in the beginning, and really, really still distrusting of Arthur, and then kind of coming around full circle. And like I don't know, it was cheesy as well. Like the last little standoff between Arthur and him, like when he was fully possessed by King Mongo there. But like personally, I would have wanted an actual like fight scene amongst the two of them, as opposed to just like a pushing war. Remember who you are, like just that like super, I don't know, reused thing that we've seen so many different times, and there's flashbacks. But like part of me also liked it. I don't know. I feel like we had seen enough throughout this one individual movie to get those moments of like when they're hugging the mom, and you know, just this she made her so happy, just her boys are hanging out and having fun together. So I don't know. I did like the brotherly things headed into it a lot more than maybe I was expecting to.
My favorite thing about that. Fuck, I forgot. Oh no, I remember now. My favorite thing is when they're showing the flashbacks, and they only got 2 flashbacks. Like it's just like the first time they met, and then the time in this movie when Nicole came in to hug them both. Like that's the only memories Arthur has. Like they're trying to do like this Thor and Loki thing where it's like we're phase 3 right before Infinity War. We're gonna turn Loki. He'll be really sad because they have all this history. But in this, it's like these two don't have any history really. Like they knew each other for like a couple days, and then right away, like because people forget in that same scene when he's like, "Oh yeah, I always want to meet you," blah blah. It ends with him being like, "But too bad you're a total dick." Like it ends. It like, but they splice it in a way to be completely heartfelt. And I have to say this because I will forget this. Let's take our next ad break, and then I'll say this. So we'll be right back. And we're back. Another one part that with Orm that was killing me in Kirkland is at the end. It's all good. They're on this little iceberg thing. And they do this thing where it's just like, you know, he says a perfectly fine sentence of Orm just being like, you know, Atlantis needs a king like you. You know, you might think you're not suited for it, but you are. And then he turns, he's like, they always need a good
scene.
king.
You know, it could end there.
Right there. And then he proceeds to say like 4 more lines of just like, you never know where a king is, but that's you. And then he'll turn around and be like, Atlantis is lucky they got a king like you. And it's just like, and then
King
like,
builds bridges.
yeah, he's like about to jump and just like, the king really does build bridges. It's like,
And another
fuck!
thing.
It's like they filmed all those, like, okay, well, we'll use one of them. And then they're just like, use them all. Put them all in there. Like, it was so fucking funny. He kept turning and just like, you good job, brother. And like all these like affirmations, like, okay, we get it. He's a good guy now. But I was fucking loving it. That's where it just felt like some Sam Raimi cheese going on. Of just like, this like almost feels like semi-intentional, but I really don't know. It was tremendous though.
It seemed almost like satirical to the point where,
Yes.
like you said, like he would say something and then like take a few steps and then like turn and then say more things. And I think he did that like twice. And then you and I were like joking, like, oh man, he's just like monologuing here. And then he literally did it like 2 more times, and it just made it that much more funny.
Great father, like a great king. Like it's just like all the most generic things. Like, god damn.
It's almost like expecting, like, you know, at like the award shows when they play the music when you're just going on too long. It's like, dude, just fucking jump in the water already. Like, my gosh. But yeah, no, that was a funny scene. And I don't know, like the CGI definitely across the board, I thought looked pretty damn good. But on that iceberg, as soon as they stepped up on it, and it was just like
something was up with that iceberg.
it was just like 5 characters or whatever just standing on a green screen, and I'm like, oof, like here we go, let's enjoy this scene. But
Dolph Lundgren saying shit that you don't even know. Actually, that's the one time he didn't say anything. He just kept giving that fucking grin. And then you have fucking John Davies. Like, I want to still even know, like, how in Aquaman 1, like, how did he get linked up with doing the voice? People don't know that's Gimli, right? His name is John Davies, right? Yeah.
John Rhys Davies.
John Rice Davies. Yeah, because I always confuse him with, there's like a guy that's named John, like Jonathan Rhys Myers or something. But like, it's like, I don't know. He's back as like this claw sea guy, and just like, how?
He's Gimli, essentially.
Yeah,
like,
he's just Gimli. Especially in the end, I got like, oh, my cousin bought it. And like, I felt like they're back in the tomb fighting everybody.
100%.
Like,
and then when he's like talking to Arthur, he's like, "Go ahead, we got them," and it's just like, it's like on my ox, and he's just fucking taking out like the orcs. Like that's what I was saying. Like, there's so many like just parallels to those Lord of the Rings movies that I was great to see, because obviously I love those movies, but it was also just like, this is just scarily too close. And we've already made a couple other comparisons to like other films, so it just seemed, I don't know, a little almost suspicious of like how many references maybe you could pull that inspired certain things for this movie. But I mean, I enjoyed them at least. It's not like it was atrocious.
Yeah. Anything to say on Orm before we swing off?
The dynamic between Orm and Jason Momoa, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed their interactions and their jokes. I thought that was quite clever and funny. Just this is kind of where Jason Momoa is going just a step too high when they're in the jungle, and he's like, oh yeah, I just really go for this right now. Burger, real good cheeseburger. Oh, some za and some Guinness. Yeah, and
fuck some bitches. Like, he pretty much is getting it really riled out there.
He's getting so riled up. God,
that was just him
damn.
talking to Patrick Wilson in real life, like after set, and they just kept rolling. Like, yeah, keep going, you know.
Yeah, it's just, oh fuck, it was just so much.
Also, before we we can move on forward, but before I forget, we do have to bring up Randall Park, because we moved away from him. We got to bring up the Aquaman scene of Taylor's name. If you haven't seen this movie, and if you have, you know what we're talking about. In the middle of the battle of Black Manta, Aquaman loses his trident, and they just do this quick cut to Randall Park with the trident. He throws it, Aquaman, and he throws
Sounds like a 12-year-old child. That's I think that's the funniest thing about it too. They're like, make it your most youthful Aquaman ever, and he's like, Aquaman, like it really seemed like just a corny like superhero moment that maybe would be in like a cartoon of like a little kid, like, Aquaman, here you go. But they had fucking Randall Park do it, and oh my god, it's hilarious.
You guys used to do like meme on it, Travis. I have a memory of you saying it like, Superman. What is that from?
Hang on, I got something here for it. It was
and then like 10 minutes later, you have fucking Orm do the exact same thing, but he says Arthur instead. And maybe
As
I'm
a
just
man voice.
misremembering it. Oh yeah, okay, he's a lot more of a man voice.
It's in Justice League when Cyborg is trying to separate the mother boxes. Dylan and I had the same
Right.
reaction because he's trying and it's going and he's like Superman, and then Henry Cavill like they have something about they love these cuts of characters yelling these like character names out and. Just have them throw the Triton, but yeah, that killed all three of us. I think that was our biggest laugh of the movie. Like, I was one thing I was happy about this movie. It was a loud movie, but I was so happy because there were like other people that like I think there was like a father and son a couple rows behind us. I was so loud. I was so happy. It was so loud, so they couldn't hear us laughing because we were fucking dying. But in that moment, it was so loud. We were just top of the lungs loud. I think there was one time I laughed when it went dead quiet, but like I didn't care because stuff was popping off. So.
Yeah, there's the moment too. I just wanted to shout it because I totally forgot about it until now. But the when Orm like just finds Dolph Lundgren's trident, I didn't realize that was his trident at all, and he just like looks down, finds a trident, and just like, oh, this works, and it's just like, what the fuck is that? Like, this is just Orm's trident now, but no, he did the right thing, gave it back to Buddy there. But it was just such like a weird moment, and that's another thing that I feel like is reoccurring in this movie of just whether it's fucking Randall Park yelling Aquaman. I mean, that was more just hilarious, shocking wise, but just various moments of like what is going on, whether it's Patrick Wilson running with the Naruto run or
King Mondo in Black Manta's body. You're my brother's armor.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, I don't know, on first viewing it happens pretty quick.
Yeah. I guess mention Mara a little bit. She's barely in this movie. I think I don't know what to believe. Like I kind of believe in James Wan where he says like it's more like a brother movie. Like I do believe that. Like it's tough because everyone's going, oh, she was cut. And like I think there's some stuff she was definitely cut. Like it feels like it's a much reduced role, but it's like the bulk of the movie is Aquaman away, and clearly like the first 5 minutes of the movie is like Tamora Morrison with his big ass teeth being like, I always wish I could give you another brother or sister, and I never did that, and that's really important, and you got siblings. Like the whole theme is brothers being together and family being together. So maybe she was in it more, but I get like even if it is a bullshit excuse, like it's a good excuse to have. Like, yeah, it's more about the brothers this go around, and she's off work. I did think at one moment in about 25 minutes, or maybe not, I'd say at the end of the first act, Black Manta shoots her with his beams. I thought it was over for her. I thought, oh man, they're killing her off right here. But she's sprinkled throughout the movie, and yeah, like as we've said before, I don't think we take any side. Like at least I don't care about any of that stuff. It sucks a little bit because I did really like her as Mara in the first one, but here she is just like she is a non-existent character. So if you were a fan of her or that character, expect to be massively disappointed. Like I'm fine because I like Orm, Patrick Wilson, and there is a whole first movie of that was the dynamic of the first movie, right? Was those two together, but she's barely in here. Like she makes fucking the baby piss on Arthur. It's not cool, you know.
I feel like she had more screen time than I was expecting. I
Me
mean, I
too.
predicted she was going to get murked pretty early on, which was definitely not the case. But yeah, even when she was on screen, like it felt so different than like obviously her usage in the previous film. It's almost like she wasn't even there. Like when Mantha zaps her and she's in that hospital bed, I kind of thought that's just where she was going to be for the rest of the movie. And then she shows up later on. She's actually the one that rescues Arthur. And that was the scene I just kind of laughed out loud because I think I was just not expecting it at all. And just the way that the way that he looks at her.
She's popping off. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the way it reminds me with her, and this is why I do think they definitely probably cut some stuff down. But it sounds like a morbid comparison, but hear me out. It feels like Carrie Fisher in episode 9, where it's like, oh, she passed away, and these are the only scenes we have, so we're gonna work with it. This feels like Amber Heard passed away, and it's like, well, we only have these scenes, so let's like stretch them out and like put as many as we can in there. I did appreciate that when they get back, you know, which is good because Orm doesn't know, and they show this in the trailer. The whole movie isn't in the trailer. They're like, oh, Black Man needs the bloodline, and Orm's like, well, that's you, me, and Mom, so like we're good. And they're like, oh no, our junior. When they get to the lighthouse, one, I just like to think that Orm has no fucking clue what's going on. He's never met Arthur's dad. He doesn't even know there's a baby, but like. He helps him a little bit. Aquaman and his mom all run towards Tamora Morrison, and Mara's the only one that runs in the house. She's like, where's Junior? And none of them give a fuck. They're all like, no, tomorrow. And then like he does say right away, oh, Junior got taken by Manta. But it's just like it was just so funny. Like it felt like no one gave a fuck about this baby. Like of course I love my dad, but it's just like he's an older gentleman. This is my child. Like, and I think my dad would even understand like, oh yeah, you got to go in the house to try and find your
Yeah.
kid. Like it felt like the baby. So many times this movie literally felt like a MacGuffin plot device. It did not feel like a child or baby at all. Like this idea of adding a child. The first 5 minutes, he's like, I'm a dad, and it's really tough. And then after that, the kid's gone for the whole movie
Yeah.
until Black Man. So it's just like it was a waste too. It was just I'd rather him have just. You could take that out and just have Manta kidnap their mom if they need the
Oh, yeah.
blood. Like yeah, and get Nicole Kidman in there more. Like it was a pointless story.
So many times when you introduce like a baby of that age too, like that's such like a big variable that gets added on to the already like
yes.
pretty high dangers that they have, and it just really didn't feel like there was pardon me any danger like elevated from the threat of the child, other than just they're gonna kill it to unleash Mongo. So I don't know. I'm pretty disappointed with the whole Arthur Jr. plot, especially just knowing some of like the source material where it's like, I mean, even the fucking ChatGPT prediction that we had where he becomes a
Killed
ghost
the
child.
baby.
That's a lot more interesting
Ghost child,
than his usage here.
Yeah, it felt like the baby actor also had a trial with Johnny Depp, and they cut around him. You know, like that's what it felt like. Like, what's going on here? But
that sequence unfolding where they had to rush to the home and check on
Lighthouse is gone.
Lighthouse is gone. Yeah, the dad, Tamara Morrison, surviving. I was like, okay, they're just like everyone's protected. So that was a shock.
Weird. He is dying. His whole body's rotten, and Orm's like, he's gonna make it. Like what? Like. Why? Like, and I guess I'm fine that now being the last one, like the family kind of gets a happy ending, but it just felt like a complete setup to okay, he's definitely a goner here, and no, he made it. He made it. The
no
baby
stakes
made
in
it.
this film.
Well, even like especially when like Black Manta like kills him or like supposedly kills him, like it just felt like this
Yeah.
is like, hey, it's over for him. But that scene was great. Like I was laughing. We were all laughing when he's like, oh, what's going on? When he's like at the TV and the lights go up.
Just
Oh, yeah.
hammered on
and
Guinnesses.
just yeah,
He leaves
just
his
drunk.
5-month-old baby alone on a couch. Like,
Yeah.
fuck, man. Like, I guess that is a super powered baby, so maybe it'll be okay. Great shot, though. I love when he's like, yeah,
by the light switch.
Yeah. So the part I do like about this, he's trying to find something like you said, the light switch. Just Manta's eyes lighting up. Really cool shot of like fuck, like, and because it is like Manta when he's in the underworld and it's like or underwater world, there is so much going on where it's like he looks smaller, but him in the real world next to a person, it's like fuck, this guy's massive. Like just
Yeah.
this helmet. But
Well, Yaya's a big guy.
Oh yeah,
isn't he?
he's a big, bulky guy. Yeah, but my favorite thing, I get what they're trying to do, but Tamara Morrison's on the couch and he's watching the news, and they're talking about global warming and flood. He seems like he's Drew Barrymore's character out of 50 First Dates, because he looks like he's learning about all this stuff for the very first
He's been at the
time.
lighthouse for so long. He
Yes.
doesn't even know what the fuck's going on out there
Like,
in the world.
Remember when Austin Powers came out and then he watches all those things? They show like the Berlin Wall came down and he's like, John Lennon died. Like, it felt like if they showed 9/11 to Morrison was like, oh my God, I can't believe
What
this
is
happened.
happening?
Like,
Arthur, you need to go stop this right now.
yeah, and it's not like he's a civilian. His fucking son is Aquaman, who would have something like. It just felt like the way they asked him, whatever. I think they said this is going to be playing on the news, and then what ended up playing was just generic like global warming footage. He's like, my God, he has a line like, "What's going on out there?" Like, it's just like, but you also know like Black Man is trying to melt the world. Like, it was such a funny cut of this guy has no fucking clue what's going on. Fucking simple fit, you know.
Simple fat.
This actor, man, he just brings so much to these roles now. So,
The when the baby got kidnapped, he just reminds me of Boba Fett. No matter where I see him now, but yeah,
Yes.
the baby
As soon
got
as he was
kidnapped.
talking, Taylor, I was just thinking of those fucking videos from Battlefront 2 when it's like the 501st journals. Like every time he speaks now, I just get taken back to that era of Star Wars Battlefront 2. But
Oh,
and he
yeah.
smiles. So I get taken back to.
yeah,
Fuck, like, why is that a thing? Why did they do that? Star Wars is dead, everybody. Fuck.
Yeah, when the baby got taken away, the whole time, like I knew the baby wasn't gonna get killed. I think James Wan said in some interviews, like, that's pretty dark. We're not really gonna do that. And after what
I've
you
seen your
said too,
movies,
Travis,
James Wan.
like,
I can I know you can do
Yeah.
some dark.
They didn't
But-
kill the dad. Fuck.
the whole time though that the baby was just kidnapped. I was just thinking of that ChatGPT where Arthur like reaches out to Batman. Oh, sorry, Arthur. There's a lot else other problems going on in the world. I
Yeah,
can't
lots of
help you."
threats.
Yeah, lots of
We don't
Big
know what
threat.
There was even a moment in this movie too where he just said something, and I get it, I don't want to be that like, where is the Justice League? But it just felt like he was like, and we're all alone, and just like, or even just like, I guess they didn't. I don't know. I guess they didn't know that Black Man would be after the blood, but it's just like, there's no one else you can leave this baby with. Like, this is like, and he like he gets taken so easily. Even in the first movie too, like people like fucked up his house. So it's just like you can't even just drop this kid off at Bruce Wayne's for like a day. Like I'll trust Barry Allen with this kid more than fucking his dad. Like please, like any of your Justice League friends, just like can they not watch this child? But no, they couldn't. And yeah, no, there's no mention of the Justice League at all in this. Really, there's mention that he like saved the world, but they're all non-existent and stuff. So, oh, and there was another thing too. Ah, shit. There was like another
With
sort
the-
of thing, but go ahead.
With the baby, something that really stood out to me. I mean, you guys have children, I don't, but the baby literally doesn't age from the point that we see him at the beginning of the film, and then 5 months later, I feel like a baby at that age, 5 months, like does that not? Would you not see like very significant
yeah.
changes in
Very
the baby?
big.
The only
changes.
difference
Yeah.
I saw, I thought it was different, but I don't think it was. I think it was just when the baby was CGI. He looked a little different. But I was like, oh, he's different.
No,
They're like, oh,
they,
no.
they use the exact same baby from before the jump to after the jump. Yeah, there might be some CGI there, but it did not change age.
That could be
at
like
all.
Atlantis.
Maybe it's yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Maybe it
Atlantis
takes more
genes.
time.
You just start at 5 months old. You know, poor Mara had to push out that baby in the fucking.
Oh yeah, she's forever changed.
I guess I get it. Like I understand. It was just a weird cut. They just cut to the beach and she's just giving birth in the water. Like I get it because I guess they don't know if this kid's gonna breathe and stuff like that. But just like why are you right on the shore? Like why don't you guys have doctors in Atlantis? Like you guys, the people give birth there all the time. Even though it's like I feel like there's only like 5 or 6 like human like people in Atlantis and everyone else is fish people. Like in the first movie, they had that
yeah.
stadium of everybody, but now in Atlantis, it's all people that are like merman, looking like bootstrap builders. Very little human people. And the other thing that I found was odd, where he's talking about his daily routines and stuff, and he's talking about being king. And I thought he was going to talk about how he gave that up, but he's still king. But they don't live there, which I don't think would fly.
Yeah.
Like he does, they don't live in Atlantis.
He's
they
an
live
awful
at,
king. He's a completely awful king.
Oh yeah, they live at their
And-
dad's like lighthouse.
Maybe you guys caught this because I was kind of confused because I kind of thought that Arthur got like ousted as a king, didn't he, by like the council, like at when I think it's when Black Manta actually comes and just raids.
They were
the thing.
going to. They said that I think they were going to have a meeting on no confidence. So like that was their
Oh.
idea. But I
Okay.
guess after
I
they
thought he
saved
was
the
completely
day-
ousted, and then by the end of the movie, he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go back to being king." It's like, I think they kind of
Well, he
ousted
fucked the
you
council over, right? Because
Well, even by the end,
that
too.
scene.
that was hilarious.
What was that? Oh my god, the leader of the council. The whole thing is Aquaman wants to be public to the world. They don't, and
He
clearly
just fucking does it.
he
without
just
telling
does
them.
it.
Yeah, good for
Terrible.
him.
And then they show this leader of the council just fearing for her children's life, just like watching the news of him telling everybody. And
Literally just tomorrow
The
Mars.
council sucked.
What is happening?
Good
That
for,
was her
good for
reaction.
Arthur.
is that my son? But like, I unfortunately was spoiled on a bit of that ending today. I just saw a shot on my timeline of Jason Momoa at the podium and just someone being like, "This is how the DC is gonna end, huh?" And it really was. And fuck, man, because there's rumors that supposedly, so like obviously you guys all picked up on like it wasn't like that playing it safe with the whole like global warming and pollution stuff like that. Apparently there was cuts to this movie that were a lot more about that and really diving deep into those type of politics. And that's where like, I know I'm saying it feels like a Saturday morning cartoon and these movies are cheesy and all fits, but like that ending had just like a different level of bad to it. Like that does feel like a Saturday morning cartoon where the hero would just appear up the city and it's like, yes, but it just was even the speech they had and the whole weird like play on if they're playing on I Am Iron Man when he just gets the microphone, it's like I am Aquaman.
And
Woo!
the music
Like,
comes in. Yeah.
yeah, it was fucking weird and they should have just I think it would have been better if they just ended it. If there's a great shot of them all at the beach together. Clearly, the lighthouse is built together, but it's like Aquaman's holding Mara, and Mara's holding a baby, and Nicole Kidman's holding Tamora Morrison. Like they're like just ended at the beach, and I think that was the way to go. This whole speech thing was like I get what they're trying to do to like global warming and talking about pollution. That's great, but just like it felt so hollow. It just felt like hey, like
half-baked,
recycle
big time. And like I feel like there's portions of the movie when they're just going like super super hard on that topic, and then it kind of just fades away, and then we get to the end that it's like this is the result of the global warming trying to fucking free King Mongo. So I don't know. I really didn't care for that, and I think it's not even because of the subject matter, but also just because it is that half baked, like half attempted just telling of that situation. And holy fuck, when they had, I think it was, what's the queen's name?
It's like Alana or something like that. Remember
Atlanta or something like that.
Yeah, Nicole
she's
Kidman.
like explaining like why they stopped using these gases in the first place, and
we get it. Yeah,
it just goes to Black Manta and the crew just fucking burning tires essentially in this volcano, and they're just tossing it in there, and then we get to the fucking mountain that's just like the fucking giant silos from The Simpsons essentially, but it's just out of a volcano. I just thought that was so fucking corny and cheesy, and I couldn't believe it. They're like, where the hell are they?
Yeah,
maybe at the giant fucking smokestack that you could probably see from miles away, but
they have a whole they have a whole mission to find out where their base is. These people have all this tech. You're telling me no one can see like there's big radiation at this side of the world? Like it was like when they just zoom out, it's like a huge volcano, massive, just spewing out green like guck. It's just like no one could find this. Nobody.
The green guck too. That was the ace on top for me, because I'm thinking like greenhouse gases are not green like that. Like it's
these ones are. These are ancient.
These are like, and I feel like that's
gases.
that's the thing. Like, oh, it's greenhouse gas, so we need to make this green, literally, just to get that message across.
And it's weird too because like she sets them up like, oh, we were using this, but we stopped doing this. Then later on, they have this fight going on, and Momoa picks one up and he's using it as a weapon. And Orm's like, you got to be careful, that could explode and lots of damage. And Arthur's just like, whatever, man, huzzah! And it's just like. So like what are we supposed to think? Our character is telling people like, yeah, there's some pollution. Like he's been told about the pollution, but then he's just throwing this bomb around that could
horrible king.
Yeah,
horrible
he could
king.
continue to pollute the world. So it's like, why do I give a fuck at the end of Arthur's like, we need to do better, when just half an hour ago he was swinging around a greenhouse gas bomb for like shits and giggles while Orm found a better solution. He got a chain and he won. So like fucking Momoa swinging this bomb around did nothing, but Orm being like, I'm just gonna use my brain and tie these people up. Yeah, it just
and like early on in the film too, they make like a big emphasis on the threat that the whole global warming is posing to the people of Atlantis. They have like a sickness going around. Big think about this sickness. Fuck, that's what killed Willem Dafoe in like one sentence in this movie.
Poor Volko. Yeah.
Did we see literally anyone on screen that had a sickness or anything? Like it was literally just like they had a black peg that's taken out fucking populations, and it's just we don't see anything about that. Like that's just ridiculous to me. And again, maybe that is something that they're leaning more in on, like a different script or a different whatever it was. I don't know. I almost forgot about the sickness until they mentioned it again like halfway through the movie. Yeah,
sickness. 100%. I know someone's gonna be like, you want them to cut the global warming thing? Yes, because I don't think people are going to Aquaman for their global warming talk. And if they are, I get like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you can't have a message in the movie. I just feel like this was them trying to be in the middle of the lane of like, there's a cut that was really hard on it, and like, oh, that's too much. But then there was a cut that had nothing, like, oh, well, we don't want to cut it out. That's where it's like, I'm fine if you want to make this whole movie about like this. I'm sorry if this movie's ending with them fighting some skeleton King Mongo with souls. Like, it's not about global warming. Like, it could be an aspect, but like, if you're gonna do that, fine. But then go full go for it. Go like with Black Panther. Go like they didn't just jump around, Rays. You'd fucking like Killmonger talking about white slavers. You know, it's like they fucking just went for it hard, and that was the whole villain's motivation. Where like, I guess like Manta says something of like, oh, the world is always going this way. We're just speeding it up. But like his main goal is not to create global warming. It's just like it's a side effect of it. Like that's not his. Like I'm gonna go out and melt the world. It's just because he wants power. But and I get the allegory in real life, but. Yeah. Let's take our last ad break, and we'll talk about some last few things and maybe ratings. We'll be right back. And we're back. Taylor, was there something you want to say on some of those ones there? I feel like there's something you're going to say, and then we went off a tangent of the greenhouse gases and stuff.
No. My note was just the greenhouse gas there,
Okay.
so we're all good.
Anything in particular? Mara, Nicole Kidman's in here for like a day and a half. Like, she hugs her son. She's there for exposition. Nothing.
I almost
hope
forgot she was even alive, like entering this movie. I thought she died in the last one at some point. Very hands off queen, I guess. That's not really her role anymore, right? Because
No.
Mara's kind of the queen now.
Yeah, Mara's
But her
got
eyes were
paid
fucking
well.
tripping me out in this movie. I don't know what was going on with them. They like made them super dark or like super watery. Because I don't know. She just looked like she was super possessed at various points, and I don't know if they gave her an accent or something. Just something seemed off with her that was kind of mess with me. I didn't fully love her in this.
Yeah. Nah, just a paycheck one, so.
And apparently, like, I didn't know this. She was born in like Hawaii. Hey, like, that actress. What the fuck's her name? I'm
Nicole
blanking.
Kidman?
Yeah,
you forgot
she's-
you
I
just
didn't know
pulled
she
that actress on Nicole Kidman, one of the biggest
Yeah,
stars of all
come
time.
on. She's
Oh, that actress.
such a forgettable character in this movie. I forgot she was doing an actress. But
Eyes Wide
I-
Shut, man.
I didn't know she's from Hawaii. Maybe that's why she's in the project. You know, Momoa recruited her. Local Hawaiian.
Yeah. Fuck, I forgot. I should have re-released Eyes Wide Shut. That's a Christmas movie. Fuck, I forgot about that. Next year I'll put that
That's a
back
great
on the
Christmas movie.
feeds. Yeah. Talk about Mara, talk about Orm, talk about Manta, talk about Park, we talk about Arthur, who like we said before, there's not much of like there's a mini arc, but it's just like he's he's Jason Momoa, so
Yeah. Even Atlantis, like in general, I feel like was kind of lackluster in this one.
Yeah.
I know it's not like our main setting by any means, but even when we were there, like we had that kind of chase scene through what they call it, like the night market, and there was little fish people eating sushi or something, and then that gets ruined. I don't know if that was supposed to get a laugh.
which is
Definitely
strange
didn't get a
because
laugh in our
is that
film.
cannibalism? It was like a fish person eating a fish.
Yeah, I think so. Would it have to be like a different species of fish though? Like if they're
We don't eat different species of human.
is there different species of human?
There's no,
No,
other
but,
different
like-
species of human anymore, so we can't.
Not that we know of. I
The shell human.
I just feel like it's like it's not a 1-to-1 comparison because like I feel like they're all fish.
No, not
Wow.
exactly.
Just put them in a box,
No?
eh? Generalizing.
No, they're
Okay,
like
I see how you-
there's
I see how you see.
there's mammals.
If anything,
there's
that's a good
fish,
thing.
There's like
I'm
crustaceans.
saying I don't see color.
So there's lots of different things down there.
Yeah, I guess I just found it odd. I just found it weird. It's like if
It was
I
a weird scene, especially if that was supposed to be for like comedic purposes. No, did not work.
The Atlantean defense system was fucking trash. They need to
Fucking
Yeah.
trash.
figure that out. And then I will say the whole pirate market area, that was pretty cool. I like that scene and just how Orm was
Oh,
talking
yeah, I
about
forgot
it.
about
Kind
that.
of filling in how he had networked to find
Yeah.
Black Manta in the first movie. But yeah, just that whole sequence was, it came down to just a classic, just punch your way out of this scenario. But I still enjoyed the
Use your
setup
muscles.
before that and seeing just the pirate king guy working his magic here.
That was
all
Martin
these-
Short apparently.
Mhm.
So
Really?
That's what Kirkland said. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
So yeah,
Wow.
I couldn't place the voice, but it makes sense now. So yeah, it was fun. I liked like the Job of the Hutt type of character. I liked the whole he has like the helmet on and he's like taking the water away. So that was there was some fun there. I think I would like to see a little bit more of it because it's just ships in the outside, so it's a little just. I know it's all CGI, but I mean like it's just the walls. Maybe there could have been some fun markets or fun like God, what is it called in Star Wars where Luke and Greedo gets killed?
You're
Cantina.
pulling a
Cantina,
what's
like,
it called?
Yeah, cantina.
cantina?
Like I would like if we went into some bar and some cantinas there. Could have been fun.
Yeah, that's
but-
fair.
We
It was
got
pretty
that
short
ladyfish
scene for
singing.
what happened.
Yeah, we did have that lady fish singing. Yeah, she looked a lot like the hot gremlin from Gremlins 2.
The hot gremlin.
Yeah,
Not
it's a hot
familiar.
gremlin. Yeah, watch it. Anything else? Post-credit scene was shit.
It was
Just
shit.
Patrick Wilson eating a bug in his burger. Cool. What a way to end the DCU, you know?
That's
Ended with the bug. Started with the bug. Ended with the bug.
Started with a bug.
Let me look over here. I had, just my Lord of the Rings isms in here. I got already mentioned Sauron. Very much just like the total Sauron design too, with like the tall head. Kind of gave him a weird face, but even like the battle, man, my God, it chops his trident in half. Basically, how fucking Isildur chops off his finger. Like it was just so samesies, but also I still kind of liked it because it was so samesies because it's just so fucking good.
Until the state comes in, just like copyright.
Yeah. He fucking takes the trident for himself. Throw it into the fire. What else? Oh yeah, also just like that entire Lost City, I was getting major Minas Morgul vibes.
100%.
The cursed city.
And
Which again, I just loved.
that.
I love the design, the green and black, just really, really cool. The whole possession with the black trident, very, very, very similar to the ring. Even when, like, there's multiple moments in Lord of the Rings too, where like a character is hearing Sauron, you know, tempting them to put on the ring, and then like he even says like, "My power will be yours if you put it on," and that's literally the exact same thing that King Mongo said to fucking Orm, I think, at the end, or maybe it's Black Manta, I can't remember.
The only thing that not the only thing, but one thing that separates Lord of the Rings from this is, you know, you get those moments of Boromir and Aragorn, they're holding the ring and hear little voices, and then you just see them, you know, talk to Frodo. You see the despair on their face. Here, no, we don't have that subtlety. It's a smash cut to a ring of fire around them, and it's King Mondo being like, he fucking hates you. He hates you more than Manta. You want to be king. You always wanted to kill him. He's like, he didn't need it. He didn't need. I get what they're going for, but it's just like
fucking your wife or your fiance.
yeah, both of them. He's fucking your wife, you know. Like, it was just like, it was like literally someone's like, well, what if we did that Lord of the Rings scene with the ring, but we actually showed Sauron like talking to Frodo,
Shit talking him,
yeah. And then once you see it, you go, you know what? There's a reason some things are better left to the imagination. So
yeah, no, exactly. Especially like just having him floating around. Like right in his face, like do that,
and flipping back and
it's
forth.
so crazy, yeah.
I
don't know. It just kind of brought away the badassery of that character.
I hope when fucking Black Manta was in the ship, like masturbating, that guy was just going around in circles, like yeah. Switch to your left.
Oh god. And then the last one, was just Gimli. I just felt like that John Rhys Davies character was literally just Gimli in the crab suit. So those are my. There's probably even more that I missed, but. Those are definitely the isms there. And I should mention how fucking lame the death scene of King Mongo was. When at first I was really hopeful that because he throws the black trident, and I'm like, please don't just tell me he fucking kills him here with the black trident. And then he catches it. And I'm like, oh my god, we're gonna get some crazy fight scene
boss
here.
Battle. Yeah.
And then and then fucking Aquaman says something in Dolph Lundgren's voice. He's like, oh, and he tosses the other trident. And he fucking just splits the arrow like he's Robin Hood, and then just shatters him. It's just like, my gosh. Wow,
it's a huge cock.
Lackluster. Oh, yeah, majorly.
It was you're back in high school. You got the girl there. You know, your parents have left. Like, oh, good. Her pants are down. And then also, blah, 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 and then like, oh, no.
You got the shattery head.
Something.
Like, you're going to do it. You're totally going to get some now.
Oh, no, we forgot something. We're actually staying in tonight. Or like, all cars out of gas. Like, oh, no. Like, we thought it was going to happen. Balls. Yeah, and that's what that was. I was like, oh, fuck. We're going to get really, because like, I want to see Mongo pop off here. And we didn't, so. But instead we got him floating
his
around.
Name to Mongo. I love that.
Oh, it's Mongo.
Started with a mistake, but now that's his name.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what it was.
Necro or
no, that's the
Corax,
place.
Isn't it?
Corax. There you go.
Yeah, Cumrax. Yeah.
Cumrax.
Yeah, but my name isn't Cumrax. But no, big tease. Anything else? Going once, going twice. I'll go last because maybe I got the highest score. We'll start with Taylor. At 10, what would you give this movie?
Oh, I was really thinking to myself what I would give it when I was driving home.
I hope so.
I wish I could remember what I gave that first one, but all in all, like this film, I enjoyed the dark undertones that it had. Just those cool horror sequences were very, very great, and I think it worked really well with this world. I think that some of the humor worked, most of it I was laughing at because I was with you guys, and a lot of that was not intended to be humorous. And then you have just very messy character development. You have already established characters from the previous film and from the other DCEU films building this world and this universe, and then you just have this film that has really sloppy progression and unfulfilling narratives for our characters, and that really just pulls me out of it quite a bit. So unfortunately, I'm probably gonna go with like a I'm gonna go with a 5. I'm gonna still pass it.
Oh my
But
god!
I really am in no hurry to rewatch this, and that was the first thing I said to Madison when I got home. She asked me how was the movie. I said, "You're not really gonna be in any rush to go and see this movie." So I hate to like give it that low of a score because I've liked some of these back half like DCU films. I love Blue Beetle. It was a freaking awesome movie.
DCU.
I had a lot
That's
of fun. And the Flash, even I think I rated the Flash higher than this for sure. So, and Shazam too. Like all these later films, I was really enjoying them. So it's just it sucks to just see this is where we're at. I didn't need like a post credit scene going into something crazy to continue it. It just would have been cool to get something a bit better. I don't know. Give me a scene of like all the Justice League like hugging or something like that. I don't know.
Beating each
Something
other
orgy,
off.
Yeah.
just beating it off. Yeah.
But Diana's like
Fucking
calling the
shadowy
shots.
picture,
Yeah.
just going around. King Mom.
Superman's like, now you fuck Cyborg, and then you fuck Bruce, and it's just her. And
Superman.
she's she's just like out in the lasso troop, just making them do all these dirty things. All
Consensual, of course.
it's consensual. Yeah, it's like a dominatrix thing. Not trying to say she's some assaulter or something like that. Kirkland.
Yeah, I was gonna say something, but I forgot it now, unfortunately.
Consensual assault.
Oh yeah, no,
Aquaman.
you reminded me of the consensual. No, for the end credit. Of course, with all these fucking movies, the day they come out, there's an article right at the start, and it's like, you'll never believe what the end credit scene is. There literally is a article, bullshit article. I don't even know what the site is. I'm not even gonna mention it, but it's like, again, probably super clickbaity title. I don't remember what it is now, but it's like Aquaman 2 end credit scene, and it's a full fucking page of an article breaking down the bug that he eats, and then it ends with what this means going forward for the next Aquaman appearance. We don't know. It's like we all fucking know because this is the last one because the DCEU is dead. Who the fuck writes these articles? Like these are fucking
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. Literally, they have to be. It doesn't make sense otherwise, or no one's fucking doing research. Anyways, rant over. Yeah, no, this was a fun time for sure. It'll be a while till I revisit this film. Definitely. But it was fun to see it with you guys for sure. And big standouts, I'd say, yeah, Patrick Wilson, and just like the world design that they showed us. The Lost City was really cool, and even the island. I remember seeing those moments in the trailers, and the grasshoppers was pretty iffy, but I feel like for the most part I actually liked it more than I was expecting, probably just because of the back and forth amongst Patrick Wilson and Jason Momoa, which was like mostly Patrick Wilson almost like reacting to the Momoa-isms of him just being himself. So yeah, I had a fun time with it. I think I'm still gonna give it like a 6.5 though, because it's like there is just a lot of maybe intentional humor that did not hit at all with me by any means. Some weird decisions from certain characters, and also just the whole balancing act of the Black Trident motivating Yaya's own motivations when I don't think he really needed it, and just an overall like lack of real like stakes with the baby, or even like, it's not Arthur Senior, right? What's the dad's name? It's like Tom Curry or something.
I think it's
I don't
Tom
know,
Curry,
something
yeah.
like that. But yeah, he just survived. So it's just happy end, I guess. And and then also just the flip floppiness with the global warming thing, and the ending was just kind of ridiculous, honestly. Like the fucking Wakanda, we're gonna show ourselves to the world, and I was getting just thoughts of that first Wakanda film. But 6.5. I think that's okay. Especially, I really, really like the first one. I'm not too disappointed. This one's significantly lower on my rating, at least.
Yeah, 7 out of 10 for me, so I'm glad I went last. I'm the highest. I give 7 out of 10 to movies that maybe aren't the greatest, but I know I'll rewatch them. I think this does have rewatch value in the sense of if I want to see a live-action Aquaman movie that I at least enjoy and have a good time, this is one. I feel like it's one you can put on tune out for 50 minutes, come back in and still be enjoying it. You know, like it is the comic book fair that I do enjoy. Of course, I always want the bar to be there. Of course, I'd love to be talking about this like this is the best movie of the DCU. But as we've said before, now it might be different with the way the audiences are. We've seen now that they're not going to show up. Now comic book movies have to get back to a stage where everything might have to be like a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. But we were just from an era where when we were getting 8 to 10 DC Marvel movies a year, I was fine if not every movie was a home run, and I still just enjoyed the movie. I definitely would not return to it as much as the first one. I feel like if I had, like, I don't think it's a thing where I have to watch 1 and 2 together. I could watch 1 and be done, but who knows? Maybe I'll feel in that mood. And again, it all depends in retrospect, like 10 years from now, 15 years from now, you know, because who knows when you get another Aquaman? Who knows what happens with the DCU? So it's like I'm happy it exists and it's not completely awful. I'm happy it's not like a Wolverine Origins where it's like I still watch it, but just because Hugh Jackman's in it, and that's where my enjoyment ends. Like there's multiple things in here I could enjoy, but yeah, it's not the greatest. It's not the greatest DCU film. It's very much just middle of the road, but yeah, I'm excited to see, you know, hopefully the future of what happens. We got a whole year pretty much till Joker 2, so yeah, it was. You know, it was a fucking really bumpy road, this whole universe, and I'm excited to talk about when we get to Golden Geeks because, yeah, I just like the trajectory of stuff. But and I got a really fun surprise category that we've never done before, so I'm going to hold on to that. But yeah, check out that. And yeah, 7 out of 10. Those are movies I rewatch again, but maybe just because they're kind of enjoyable. So that's it for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Let us know your thoughts, your rankings. Jump in the Discord. That's the best place to be talking about that. I guess we should probably make a spoilers chat at some point. But yeah,
No one's seen this movie. Come on. There's going to be no discussion about it.
Maybe not, no. But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. When you hear from us next, it'll not be boring.
Adios.